Welcome back to the channel, and I've been getting a lot of feedback, and this has been going on for well over a year, that a lot of the viewers of the channel, and I think just a lot of Marvel Comics customers in general, feel like the comic publisher isn't ignoring them or doesn't have their best interest in heart. They actually just hate their customers at this point. They kind of regret the customers that they have are the customers, like they want a better level of customer kind of going forward. And here to talk to me about that is lifelong Marvel Comics reader Doc. How you doing, Doc?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me.
Me personally, I'm starting to come around. I've never really thought that Marvel or DC or really anybody in entertainment really just hates their customers. I'm starting to feel it more, especially with DC after their Dark Crisis Young Justice series. I've always thought they were just kind of indifferent. It definitely felt like they've been looking for a new breed of customer, but it definitely feels very antagonistic, maybe not direct attacks, but it feels like they're going out of their way to deliver comic books and characters and deliver changes that they know the customers that they do have. It's to spite them almost personally at this point, and it does start to feel like hate after a while.
When you have enough of a history of them actively antagonistic, the creatives that are involved in this, the editors, and the way that they have actively sought to find a replacement, it starts to feel like, they're not just dumb, they're actively antagonistic, willing to burn the fucking building down in order to tell us to fuck off because they just don't like us.
It's kind of a weird thing treating your lifelong customers like this. I understand some of the customers themselves are getting a little bit older, and certainly they do need to bring in some new readers and stuff like that, but I'm only 44 years old. You're less than 40 years old. We have 20 to 30 years to be customers left in us. It almost feels like, yes, they are trying to replace us, but it's not that we're too old or anything like that. It's like we're not good enough. And that's kind of a strange thing, and it almost feels like it's all the surface traits about me that they don't like. It's my race and my gender and my sexuality and all these things that define me to them that certainly don't define me to me that they really don't like about me. And that's why they're going out of their way to really do everything in their power to drive me and people like me away.
Well, let me correct you on one thing. I am over 40. But regardless.
What are you, 41?
Yeah.
Oh, you're barely 40.
I told you I'm over 40. Fuck you. But no, you are correct. The audience that they seek and a lot of the creatives that they've brought in seem to weirdly define themselves by these, immutable traits. And that's fine if they choose to do so. The problem is they want to define a bunch of people that don't define themselves by their immutable traits, look at their immutable traits and say, we don't want that. They've established continuity. They have storylines. They can't just walk them back and act like nothing happened or pretend that they didn't happen because they went out of their way to shove those changes into the storyline in the hopes that it would tell us to fuck off. And they thought it was by telling us to fuck off, they would then somehow endear themselves to a younger generation.
You've already walked away from comic books, new comic books, period. You're just not supporting any of them at this point. And you're not the only one. Obviously, you've been in the comic book reading community for quite some time. You see it online. It does feel like there's a groundswell of people just saying, you know what? Fuck it. If they don't like me, I hate them too. And I don't want to have any part of supporting a company like this. And they're really giving power to the alternatives out there when really people don't come to Marvel Comics for a lifestyle. They don't come to Marvel Comics for political statements. They come to Marvel Comics for the best characters out there. And they've gone out of their way to bastardize them, to change them into the worldview, I guess, of the creators and the editors and stuff, but at the cost of actual customers walking away and potentially killing any chance of ever becoming a lifestyle brand because they end up losing a couple of generations of actual people that are invested already in the brand.
They don't accept why we're here, why the readers that were here for a long time. We were there to watch a bunch of really cool characters in cool costumes, punch each other, and fucking shoot laser blasts at each other. It was a moral play, almost, and it was an ongoing narrative. I like to refer to it as soap operas for boys. Kind of the same way that wrestling feeds that same, targets that same kind of feeling. An ongoing narrative with colorful action characters that are larger than life. They've tried to change that, thinking that, well, maybe that doesn't appeal. They're not gaining the audience that they want to get, but while they're actively chasing off the one that they have, it doesn't seem to make sense. It seems like it's a recipe for abject failure. And yeah, you're right. A lot of people have just said, screw it, I'm going to an alternative. Indie comics, or just like me saying, I'll just buy back issues. Even though I've been reading for 30 years now, over 30 years, there's a whole lot of stuff I skipped when it came out. There's a whole lot of stuff from before that I might not have read. We'll give our money there. It seems like the more we've done that, the more that they chase us off, while at the same time simultaneously not grabbing that next generation. They've gotten so frustrated that they get more and more and more antagonistic towards the customers that are remaining. Maybe the thing that you were trying to do doesn't fucking work.
Well, it's a lack of accountability. They don't want to have to actually look themselves in the mirror and realize that perhaps our decisions are the ones that have chased all these people off, and perhaps look in the mirror and realize maybe we're going to have to apologize. Maybe we're going to have to extend an olive branch. Maybe we're going to have to do something that matters to actually bring people back. At this point, Doc, I mean, you didn't leave all that long ago. Could Marvel Comics even get a lot of these people who do genuinely feel that Marvel Comics hates them personally? Can they even be brought back at this point? Have they already found their alternatives in manga and other stuff?
The only way to win this audience back that they already lost, because they've probably lost half of the readership over the last few years, if not 75%. The only way to do it would be the kind of wholesale house cleaning that is absolutely impossible. I mean, we're kind of seeing it with that Elon's doing it at Twitter right now, but it's never going to happen in the entertainment industry. The whole magic of especially the comic industry was that it was built by these guys. They threw a bunch of stuff at the wall to see what stuck. And then they kept building upon building and building upon that foundation for the past 80 years. And they would always mentor the new creatives that were coming up after them to carry the torch. Any of that like institutional knowledge is dead. The institutional knowledge and love and connection to the origin and being kind of the bearers of the torch that was handed to you directly by the previous generation that goes all the way back to the creator, that's gone.
So, Doc, as a Marvel Comics reader, what was there like a moment, or was there like a period of time when you realized, I know they don't like me, but perhaps they really, really do hate me? Is there a series or maybe just an event within a comic book that just really let you know that was it? You know, obviously that's more personal. It's not going to apply to everybody, but I'm sure everyone ends up having that moment.
For me, it was the Krakoan age, and honestly, Punisher. Oh, and you know what? And Amazing Spider-Man. Those three kind of franchises there. You know, we got the taste of it with Nick Spencer, especially near the end of his run. And then they abruptly stopped it, basically said, fuck you to where it was going, took the Peter and Mary Jane, relationship back 5 years. Punisher, they've actively tried to change everything that made the character unique, from his symbol down to his origin, because the wrong people liked him. And then X-Men, they gave us that hint, that taste with House of X, Powers of X, and it drew a lot of people back. As the Krakoan era started, the work got shittier and shittier. The existing readership actively started telling them, hey, you guys are going in the wrong direction here. They kept doubling and tripling down on the plants, the drug dealing, the segregation, all the stuff that was kind of a problem, but not, like a deal breaker. When they kept tripling down, the more that they lost readers, and their existing readers would tell them how terrible this was. That's when it dawned on me. You know what? They're actively doing it to spite us. The things we're telling them we hate is the thing that they're doing more of.
I definitely want to say thank you very much to Doc for joining us and giving us some good information regarding whether or not he feels that Marvel Comics hates him. Do you feel Marvel Comics hates you? I think that's the bigger question in mind right now. And I think it's all very interesting stuff. I think I'm starting to come around on this. What I definitely do know is Marvel Comics thinks I and you are absolute morons. We will continue to clap like seals and buy their product no matter what they do, but they're wrong. We're not stupid, but that's definitely how they feel about us. Definitely check this video out. If you don't see it here, there's also a link in the video description.